Alright, so your packaging, which is nice and good packaging, you have the speaker inside of this. Basically, this is the speaker you sent. It's a JBL Flip 4. I've had it plugged into the charger for a few hours now. This is the most that it seems to be able to charge, which is 1 dot before being full. We're going to leave it plugged in right now, and we're going to connect it to the Bluetooth. So we're going to turn it on. Alright, so it does really well. So, see, I've already picked out some music. We're just going to do that for about a minute. Sounds good and everything. It's doing that little bit of flashing, which is actually interesting because it's going to like it's more charged. So we're going to go ahead and unplug it. So now it's going to be dependent completely on its own power. You hear it? Starts doing that. To which, if I plug it in now, that'll stop. See, once I plug it in, that stops. Anyway, there you go. See the power going down? The volume of that will turn it up. Now it's almost dying. Now it's showing red. In a few seconds it's going to shut itself down. And there we go. So that's what's going on. I've done some searching online, and most people are saying when it does that distortion, lowering down, it's most likely a battery issue. Most susceptible is a swollen battery or a battery basically that's just dying. If you consider the fact that a Flip 4 was built in 2017, and if this was one of the first ones in production, that's a few years old, and typical battery that goes in here is expected to last 3 to 5 years. So it's kind of like, if it's been used regularly, which judging from its condition, it's probably been used regularly, that's the expectation. So let's get in there. We're going to open it up. I've decided to buy a new battery for it instead of going through the hassle of returning it and then trying to find another one. I got a pretty good deal for this. It's just a battery issue, and we'll see what's going on. So we're going to get inside of there. I like to kind of go in from the edge and pop it up just enough to get the pry tool inside of there so that I can pop it off. Okay, that's that side. We're going to do the same on the other side. Since it's still open, there we go. So that just kind of opens up and comes off like that. And then this is just a little rubber gasket that kind of goes over the edges. So there's little arrows on the edge. So there's arrows here. So my approach is really thin, so good. There it goes. Oh yeah, that's right. And I got these. So inside here. I think the early model, this was a little piece that would slide off. And the Flip4, they actually attach it to screws. So I'm going to take the screws out. Here's another thing. Yeah, there we go. Now it's off. So the other side. So we got it. This is pretty old, so I kind of there's no deal. Side. There's a tab here, a tab here, and a tab here. Alright. So it looks pretty good. We're going to twist it open. Alright, so it just twists off, which it was very tight. That was the issue. So we got that off. Inside we have here 2 screws that we'll take out. Alright. Alright, there's the battery, there's the connector. So we're going to unplug the connector. I'm going to pull the battery out. It's really tight. It shouldn't be that tight, so it's probably swollen like we were thinking. Alright, so let me go through a little extra effort and pull this out. So what I was noticing as I'm trying to pull it out, it's got a very defined curve right here. That's probably because of the swelling. So after a lot of extra effort, it's able to get the battery out. You can see the plastic has been deformed from that battery most likely swelling and getting warm. It's old. Took a lot of pulling. I actually had to use these tools to grab it and try to slide it out. You can see here it's very thick swollen. So that's common. So I've read about these 4s once they get old, because here's the replacement battery. This is how thin it's supposed to be going in there. So we're gonna hook that up now. Alright, so the new one slides in very easily. The old one should have come out, but it did not. Gonna go ahead and plug that in. Like I said, the size comparison, actually I should have shown you that. That's the difference between the swollen battery and the replacement battery. So definitely it was the battery, but we're gonna 100% confirm it after we plug it in and put it back together. So I'm gonna put everything back together on it. This is the JBL side, which has this one that goes here. So let me put everything back together and then we'll come back and power it on. Almost there. I've got all this back together. Technically I can power it up now, but I'm gonna go ahead and put the screen cover back on it so that we can see everything lit up like it should be. Actually no, you don't need that. You just need right there. Alright, so let's power it on. So right there and right there. Now if I can only get some music going, that would be good. And we can see, because right now it's showing pretty good charge. It's a brand new battery. It actually came with a decent charge. So let me go get my Bluetooth device. So I had already powered it up earlier. We'll turn it off. Press and hold for sure. Okay, good. Connected. So that's the initial startup status of it. Let's go ahead and start my Bluetooth. Uh-oh, sorry, I didn't hit play. There we go. Yeah. We're just gonna do it for a minute like before. Number one, it's not glitching or making that weird squeaking noise. So before it was pretty much right away doing the overload sound of the speaker. We don't have that at all. I think we're pretty good on it. That distorted sound is actually the song that you hear right now. But yeah. So I did this off camera because it was taking a long time and just kind of figuring it out. Basically, after you open up the end where the battery is and unplug it, if it's a swollen battery, you got to open up the other end, and you want to move the charger port out of the way. So you basically kind of undo the 4 screws that are there, you pull it up and slightly out of the way. Looking through the back end, you'll see a couple of ribbon cables in your way. You carefully move those over. I had a nice little tweezer that I can use to kind of grab the ribbon cable and move it over. After I moved it over, I was able to start out with the end here. I wanted something fat, not pointy, but long enough to go through. If you have a flat rod, that's okay. Do not use a long screwdriver. Something with a lot of extra thickness to it. And then after I got that pretty deep, I ended up moving to my channel locks end piece, and I was able to kind of stick it in there and push. And the pushing basically meant sticking it in there, turning it upside down, and then pushing down to push the battery out. And as the battery slowly came out, we were good. First attempt was to just pull it out, and that of course disconnected it. So you want to be careful with doing the batteries if you're watching this, to try to figure out how to change your swollen battery out. If that comes off, no big deal, but make sure if you're going to use metal pliers or anything that's not plastic or isolated to grab the battery and pull it out, to help you pull it out, make sure you isolate the tools by doing something like what I did, which was put some electrical tape around it so it became a rubber tool that I can use to grab it and have one person pull up while I was pushing it from the bottom inside of the case like that. Once you get that out of there, you're pretty much good to